Our next bout in the heavyweight division at 265 pounds, our feature bout presented by Chips Transmissions. Heavyweights, Tim Johnson out of Colmont, Tennessee, taking on Gavin Walker, who's 3-1 out of D-Evil in Johnson City, Tennessee. Let's go to the cage for our first fighter introduction.
All right, I was just kidding. Now it's time for your featured fight of the night. It will be in the heavyweight division, brought to you by Chips Transmission. At this time, please welcome to the cage, fighting out of the red corner, Tim Johnson.
Tim Johnson is 0-1, weighed in at 268 pounds. So as big as Gavin Walker is, he weighed in 23 pounds heavier, 6 feet tall, but only 19 years old.
Yeah, and, you know, I mean, a big boy, and again, he doesn't care. He's going to come to fight tonight. He's ready for a brawl. And, you know, you look at Gavin Walker, he's built like a power lifter. He's got all of the look, but, you know, you got Roy Nelson in the UFC, and you look at him and you think, well, you know, this guy's not built so much. What can he do? Well, you see exactly what he can do. He's a tremendous athlete. Tim Johnson in that same boat. You may look at him and go, you know, he doesn't look like much, just a bigger guy. But you never know what lies beneath.
Tim Johnson has, as we've seen a couple times with our heavyweights tonight, that tough mountain man brawler style. It loves to stand and trade. So we should see a lot of fireworks here tonight. His opponent, Gavin Walker, out of D-Evil. We talked about him a little bit, and he says he's here to freaking fight. He said that's all he wants to do, just wants to put on a show. He's had some injuries. He said he's had floaters in his eye, a bum knee, but he doesn't care. He said he has a lot in the tank and has had a lot of adversity in his life, and he is still ready to fight and advance in his career, and really is strong in his faith, and he comes in at 3-1. Gavin Walker. Tell you more about him in just a moment as Tim Johnson steps into the cage to introduce Gavin Walker. Back to the cage and Cody Gwynn.
Now please welcome his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, Gavin Walker.
Gavin Walker at 3-1, Casey. He says that eventually he wants to help teens and youth through MMA and fitness by mentoring them and getting them out of trouble and helping them and straighten their lives out, not make some of the mistakes that he has made. You like to see that kind of perspective for a 22-year-old.
Well, Gavin's a really good guy, and, you know, he's had a lot of obstacles, but, you know, like you mentioned, physical, but also mentally. You know, everybody has struggles in life, and a lot of fighters use mixed martial arts to help them cope with that, and I think it works. You know, as long as the fighters are in here fighting, they typically are able to adjust to just about anything in life because it is so difficult to prepare yourself to get into the cage. I think Gavin, he is the epitome of what's right about this sport, and I'm excited to see him fight tonight.
Gavin Walker, wait till he takes his shirt off. He is put together. Look at the arms. Very impressive physique on Gavin Walker, of course, an All-American football player at Maryville College. Take a look at the tail of the tape. The record that Gavin Walker with the advantage and experience with 4 fights to Tim Johnson's 1. Walker 4 years older, 1 inch taller as well. And then there's the weight difference. Tim Johnson at 268. Gavin Walker pretty put together and muscular at 245. What do you think about the matchup?
Well, I'll say this. Gavin Walker, when he gets on top of you, it's hard to get him off of you. Okay, bottom line. If he gets on top, he's going to stay on top, and it's going to be a long night carrying that.
Prime time is back.
Prime time, what do you think? Tim Johnson versus Gavin Walker here tonight.
I'm going to go with Tim Johnson. No, I'm just kidding. My teammate is Gavin Walker. He's put a heck of a training camp in for this fight, and I'm going to see Gavin go out here and Hulk smash in about 30 seconds.
We were talking about it. To me, the chance that Tim Johnson has is a big shot.
Yeah.
He needs to stay outside and move around, because if Gavin gets you down, I've watched him work. If he's on top, it's very difficult.
Yeah, Gavin's not like most heavyweights either. Gavin has conditioning. Gavin is not going to go out here and been his first fight back in a long time in a big adrenaline dump. He could gas. I'm not saying he can't gas, but he's conditioned not to gas.
Yes.
Only at 22 years old, two very young fighters.
22 years old, crazy.
Yeah.
Is it not? Be that humongous and 22 years old. God.
Goodness. And All-American at Maryville College, Gavin Walker, as he steps into the cage. Let's go back there. And Cody Gwynn with our official introductions.
Oh, boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Apex Fight 7 featured bout, and it will be in the heavyweight division, brought to you by Chips Transmission. When the action begins, your referee in charge of this bout is Josh Ward. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, tonight's into the cage with a record of 0 wins with 1 defeat. He went in 266 pounds, fighting out of Colmont, Tennessee, Tim Johnson. Standing across the cage tonight, fighting out of the blue corner with a record of 3 wins with 1 defeat. He went in 245 pounds, fighting out of Johnson City, Tennessee, and representing the Evil MMA, Gavin God's Warrior Walker!
Now I'll say this, man. Gavin Walker's a guy that has the look. You know what I'm saying? If he doesn't do it in MMA, he could easily go over to WWE and make a living doing that as well.
Tim Johnson in the black and white trunks, Gavin Walker in the red, white, and blue. 3 3-minute rounds presented by Chips Transmission in the heavyweight
There we
division.
go.
This is not
It's
good.
go time.
This is over.
Walker already on
This is
top.
very
10
bad
seconds in.
news.
Terribly difficult spot there for Tim Johnson.
Beautiful takedown from Gavin.
Yes.
Shot it right in, right over the overhand.
Well, you know when Gavin Walker went, or I'm sorry, Tim Johnson went for it. He went for that big haymaker.
Huge trouble for Tim Johnson here early on.
And look at this,
Pull him
Walker.
out.
Walker not landing any shots. He's just grabbing that arm, looking for that Americana, it appears.
We're going to try to get him in a Cobra clutch here is what we're trying to go for. No, dead serious. We've worked this with Gavin a lot. He's going to try to push the opposite hand down across the other side like an arm triangle.
Yeah.
And turn him up.
There it
and land
is.
some big
And he's
punches.
just doing that with one arm, man. Look at the strength of Gavin Walker here.
Wow. Just raining down. And he looks over to his corner for those.
Looks back at Caleb Cup. Again, we mentioned Caleb before. He's a guy that doesn't get a whole lot of fame. He's the guy behind a lot of the success of a lot of these fighters out of D Evil.
Especially my success, yes.
You also see Dustin Walden in the corner of Gavin Walker. All Walker here. Just over a minute in this first round. Johnson trying to get out.
Minute 45 left in the round here, and we've been here pretty much the entire fight.
This has to be an absolutely miserable spot for Tim Johnson here. Gavin Walker, so much pressure.
Yeah. I'm very, very impressed with Gavin. I thought Gavin was really going to go out here and go crazy on this guy. And I'm super impressed with Gavin just, being very composed right here and listening to his coaches. And
Johnson just hanging on here.
So when's that body splash going to come?
That's what I was looking for. I love that. I've used it many a time.
Oh, this might be it.
Yeah.
Oh, that is no fun. That's not a punch or a kick, but people have no idea until you experience it.
No idea. It's like a shoulder butt. Nobody
Yeah.
knows how bad those hurts until you have that happen. Minute left in the fight. Little punches. He's just hiding. Gavin's just staying really composed. I'd like to see Gavin, maybe stand back up and use his striking. He's worked very hard on it, I'd hate for him not to use any of his striking.
Oh, there we go. Now he's landing some leather.
If he wants,
Now we got some leather here.
Grab the cage.
He needs to grab his head and pull him off the cage. Yeah.
Johnson trying to walk the cage and
30
spin out.
seconds left in the fight.
First round.
First round, sorry, guys.
All right. You see that right arm hanging out. The right arm of Tim Johnson. Could it be an Americana in the closing seconds of the first round?
Walker, to get his directions, he looks over, and that takes his eyes away from the fighter, his opponent.
Yeah, he's using good posture and good control. He's not really doing anything that Johnson's not really doing anything that's going to, cause Gavin any damage or anything.
And he hangs on and survives that first round.
Yep, a miserable first round.
And if you've always noticed, if you ever watch the Evil Fighters, we never take a stool in the cage. We don't believe in that. You stand up and you look at your opponent the entire time.
And I would say props to Tim Johnson for surviving that round. A lot of people would quit.
Yeah.
So was Gavin, because he was looking for a submission finish, could he have probably just rained down and won it?
Gavin could have, I believe. I really honestly believe that Gavin could have finished the fight. I think it's just the fact that he you know, he needs some cage experience. You know, don't go out there and finish. Going out there and finishing a fight and look at the beautiful double leg power
Well, first
blast.
of all, it's hard to find somebody to match with him.
Exactly.
As soon as they know what he looks like, nobody wants to fight him. So
he had to change his profile picture on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, because his first couple opponents backed out when they saw him.
Wow.
I wouldn't fight him.
Take out that he played. He was an All-American at Maryland.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't fight him.
And you saw our lovely cage girl.
I'd juke him out of his shoes in a football game. I mean, he would be laying over our face first, but I mean, as far as fighting goes.
Who didn't you do that as you took it to the house?
Exactly. Here we go. Let's go out and see if Tim tries to throw that another big overhand right.
Round 2 underway of 3.
Good kick.
A little more hesitant there. Now Gavin throwing some strikes of his own here.
I believe Gavin is going to try to stand up a little bit.
Yeah.
Huge knees.
Huge everything.
Yeah, a lot. The force
No, I mean,
behind
props to Tim, though. You know, I've talked about Gavin the whole time. Of course, he is my teammate. Of course, I'm going to give him all the praise. But, you know, Tim Johnson's done a great job this entire fight. You know, he's worked out of some couple of bad positions, and he's, throwing and he's working. He's wanting to win this fight.
Johnson likes to stand and
He can just trip him
brawl.
right there.
Oh, and I knew it was coming.
Yeah, I did too.
I knew it.
Gavin
You know, it's hard not to grab a hold of the head like that and hold on to something, but it's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
You've got to control those underhooks, especially when the guy's underneath you like
Yep.
that. And if you can't do that, get the whizzer, but don't cradle the head like
No.
that.
This ain't farm boy fighting no more. You know, you can't do that. You know, but you see that a lot in women's MMA. You know, they'll get some head tosses from there.
Yeah.
But men's MMA, you don't see that.
And, you know, I mean, that's a little bit different than the Ronda Rousey style hip
Yeah,
toss. You
yeah.
know, this is just grabbing around the head.
Yeah.
It's never good.
the knees and the advance to full mount with Gavin Walker on top. Oh,
That's a nice shot there.
Walker checking over to his corner, throws body, and then goes back to the head.
It'd be a nasty elbow right there if you could
Man.
throw an elbow. Boom, right there at the left elbow. Sorry, I know we can't throw it, but that's a beautiful
Now,
position.
Gavin has the right leg posted up. It's good. It's going to make it hard for him to be elevated. But if Tim Johnson has the guard skills, he would be trying to maybe scoop those legs inside there, maybe get his half guard or full guard back, but unable to do such.
Another minute left in the second round here, and Gavin has completely dominated this fight. He took his time. He's been meticulous with his strikes and his actions.
I just don't recall seeing a fighter stop to look over to his corner to get instructions. Normally they
Well,
just
again, the words of Caleb Cup, man. Like I said, he doesn't talk a whole lot until he's in the corner, and everyone listens.
No, I'm not saying you shouldn't listen. I just don't recall a fighter looking
Dustin
over to-
Dustin Long
yeah.
is the only other person I ever see do that. Dustin will stop and look and listen. Which I just I don't have to look at nobody to hear them. So I'm surprised at myself of how I listen when I fight.
I just wonder maybe at some point that
Yeah,
that's,
yeah,
now
definitely.
maybe because he knows he's in a
Right.
dominant
He's
position.
gonna quit.
Yeah.
I believe.
15 seconds continue Walker to rain down
Just
shots.
picking
Yeah.
away, man.
Can Johnson survive the second round as well? And he does.
Little shot after the bell there, I believe.
Goodness. Gavin Walker's getting work, though, Casey.
He certainly is. I don't know if it's worse to get knocked out in the first 10 seconds of the first round, or if it's to have to lay underneath that barrage of strikes and pressure, and it's just absolutely miserable. If you ever spend time underneath someone like that, it's no fun whatsoever.
And all that weight on you as well.
And Gavin does a good job at staying heavy too. There's a difference between just being a heavier guy and just being on top of somebody. But when I know guys like, for instance, Casey Oxendine that walks around at 121 pounds.
That's on a heavy day.
Soaking wet.
Yeah.
And when Casey puts the pressure on you, it feels like he's 250 pounds.
Well, and I'll say, too, that, when you got big guys, big heavyweights, not only is he carrying Gavin's weight, but he's carrying his own weight.
True.
He has to fight against that in order to get up.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm super proud of Gavin already right now.
Saw Miranda, our cage girl, in this bout. Miranda and Michelle, as you often see at Valor Fights in Apex, fights our lovely Cage girls. I'm Vince Ferrara along with Adam Townsend and Casey Oxendine. And we are underway, round three of three. And,
he came to throw. Johnson's getting off what he can right here.
Trying a spinning fist to start things out, maybe catch Walker by surprise. He's up against the cage now.
Nope.
Well, he may have awakened the beast right here.
Oh, right left knee to the body. He went to throw his left and put it back down.
We'll get 3 straight knees to the body, a 4th, another one.
Oh, may have been low. Nope.
Right. Exactly what
he don't need to be doing that right there. I don't know what Tim's doing with that leg right there, but he needs to keep it on the ground and turn sideways. Head pressure. Gavin needs to get head pressure right here. Is one of the things that Gavin needs to do. He's allowing Tim to control the head, and that's something that we preach all the time at our gym.
Johnson just looks absolutely gassed. He returns the knee. How about that?
Gavin's been, Tim Johnson's been very game. Like I said, I'm super impressed with Tim. I really thought that he would come out and Gavin would get the better of him, but I'm telling you, Tim has showed a tremendous heart and done some things right.
Here it is, and exactly. I knew it was going to get a call. It's so easy. It's so easy to for one to slip in there, and it's really a big break here for Tim Johnson.
Yeah, took a low blow. It's not going to feel good during his time, but he has 5 minutes.
Once again, I'm sure our excellent producer will get us a replay to see the. That's a hint, Michael.
And he'll deliver.
He always does.
Boy, Johnson looks very uncomfortable. I don't know that the Gavin Walker camp thinks that.
I don't know if that was that hard of a shot. I mean, I'm sure, getting hit there, nevertheless, is never fun, no matter where or how hard or how little. But I believe that he was playing it off a little bit more than it was, possibly.
Much less from that kind of beast of a guy.
Yeah. Of course, Gavin's got hard knees, so you never know really what could happen.
Well, they were certainly causing damage to the legs because Tim Johnson was standing on one leg for a majority of his time against the cage.
Well, that's a lot pole right there hitting you.
Yeah.
That's no small leg at all.
Well, and Casey, you talked about the first 2 rounds where he was on top of him. That's hard to carry that guy against the cage as well.
Yeah, how much time do we?
Oh, no, and what's going on here about Tim Johnson? He's looking to pull guard, maybe look for a guillotine choke.
Nope, Gavin's got his head out. He was, I believe you're right, Casey. He was going to jump on that guillotine.
Possibly desperation from Tim Johnson here, looking for anything.
I would love to see Gavin separate and bang right here. That'd be amazing.
The corner doesn't want him to throw knees here, doesn't want maybe a close call.
I would say an outside trip possibly by Gavin Walker.
He just needs to
the
separate and bang, separate and bang, separate and bang, Gavin.
And now the corner calling what you just asked for, Adam.
Nostradamus.
Let's see, Gavin going to do it. Johnson has the neck. Final round.
Gavin looks over again, as you said.
Oh, that was right in the breadbasket there. That was no fun.
Yeah. Gavin not listening to
Here
his
we go.
corner.
Nope. He just wants to ride this win out, I believe.
Gavin's been out for a good minute here, coming back in. So, like you mentioned, I mean, he's had a pretty strong work rate here in this fight.
Come on, Gavin. Separate and bang. Separate and bang,
nice.
Gavin.
Another one to the breadbasket.
That's
Walker had an opportunity to separate.
So we got about probably 30 seconds left in this fight. Yep, here comes
Tim
the 10-second
Johnson looked
clap.
to reverse there, not
10 seconds left in this bout.
Not able to get anywhere with that.
Johnson is going to survive this absolutely.
Oh, that's a big shot there by Gavin Walker.
Wow.
To close out the fight and solidify his victory. Big 30-27, no doubt.
Yeah, no doubt.
From Gavin Walker.
Good show of respect there. There's a little bit of trash talk coming up in the pre-fight. I said pre-game, pre-fight, whatever. It's the same, But he done a great job of making it cool afterwards.
Absolutely. What about the heavyweights? We always love them.
Well, whether they go the distance or whether it's a quick finish, we've seen both here tonight with our heavyweights. And Gavin Walker looks like he is no doubt on his way to win number 4 in his MMA career here at Apex 7 in Kingsport. And a reminder, you can find Valor Fights on Twitter at Valor Fights. All the upcoming bouts, interviews, rankings, and much more, valorfights.com. Also want to thank some of our sponsors, Buffalo Wild Wings official after party, Phones into Cash, Ogle, Elrod, and Burrell. Let them turn your wreck into a check. And check out Full Frontal MMA, the podcast, and news site from Josh Cade and Will Bulldog. They do a great job. Back to the cage with our official decision announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to your judges' scorecards for decision. All 3 judges scored this bout 30-27 for your winner by unanimous decision, Gavin God's Warrior Walker.
Tim Johnson falls to 0-2. Gavin Walker moves to 4-1 in his MMA career, and the fans in the Tri-Cities excited about the Johnson City product from D-Evil getting the win here on all 3 judges at 30-27 on the scorecards. Our judges tonight, Tommy Brooks, Jason Kubek, and Chandler Goins. At Apex 7, Sullivan North, you see Dustin Johnson, Ian Boxhorn, and the great crew
Gavin.
of D-Evil.
It's been a long time since my hometown, close to home at least. Fans, we got to see you, came out tonight. Talk a little bit about the fight. What was the game plan?
I'll talk a minute, man. Man, I had a lot in the basement. Horrible summer. Worst thing, a lot of tragedy. Just buried it all up, and honestly, I trained so hard. I didn't know what to do with myself other than train, so the goal was just to come in here and just get rid of all this stuff in the basement, man. Come out, pound it out, get a win for some people I won this for. So that's pretty much my game plan, man.
Now, you know, I think you're a really hyped up guy. A lot of people, I mean, just look at you. Everybody's thinking you're going to come out here and be wild. I mean, that was real. I mean, you were real technical. You know, what's next for you now? You know, you come in here. I guess you can knock off some of the rust in this. You know, what's next? Was this kind of the fight to get all that out of the way? Or are you looking to kind of keep going? What's next?
Oh, as long as y'all keep coming to see me, I'll keep fighting. That's the main thing. I've got a title fight scheduled August 22nd against Matt Talent, terrific fighter. Been doing it a lot longer than me, a lot more experience. But I'm here to put on a show, you know, and I got to say this because it's the truth. Guys, the real victory was won thousands of years ago through our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Without him, I seriously couldn't have done any of this. Without my fight team, couldn't have done anything. And if you don't know him, come talk to me after the show. I'm not the best shining example, but y'all come and see me. I love to talk to you guys. I got to thank my coaches, Dustin, Ian Boxhorn, Caleb Cupp, Adam Townsend, my entire fight team.
I've got a shout out.
Thank you all my fans. Thank you guys. I got to thank Iron Man Strength and Conditioning for training me and my strength. Bravery Fight Gear for sponsoring me. Ink Revolution for giving me this ink. So I really appreciate it, guys. So I'm going to keep fighting, man. It's my sport now.
Yeah, buddy.
There you have it. He's here to take over. That's Gavin Walker, ladies and gentlemen.